Good evening. I had some prepared remarks, but the day's events have quite changed my my feeling of what I should say. You've heard of the terrorist attack in Bulgaria. Israeli.
Louder into the microphone.
Okay. Can I take it out? So I just want to preface this by saying that you don't really need to make speeches when you see security the way it is in Europe, that people aren't safe to walk the streets, take an airplane, take a bus. Certainly you know the events in Israel ever since the start of the State of Israel 62 years ago. It's never been safe. Going back even before the state was declared, there was a terrorism going on. 1929 in Hebron, 69 Jews were slaughtered. This is an ongoing thing. Part of the problem is the shackling of the hands. It's not like we need Britain back then or America now to come and aid us to take care of our problem. We need the pressure taken off of us so that we can take care of our own backyard. I know the good people of America feel this way, and I've always stood with Israel, but your government has not always felt this way. Let's go back to the beginning, when the state was declared. Or no, let's go back to World War I, when the League of Nations put it together that there's so many Jews being slaughtered in Russia, we got to give them their land back. We'll make the Palestinian mandate, and we'll bring all of the Jews there, and we'll take care of the problem once and for all. They'll go back to where they once used to have their country. And of course, Britain was put in charge of it, and in 1922, unilaterally, Churchill, not anybody else in the British government, decided to solve a problem between the two kings that were vying for the Syrian and Iraqi throne. By the Syria and the French weren't too thrilled with that, so they didn't want a British puppet government in Syria. So they said, you know what, we'll give one to Iraq, which is British, and then we'll make this thing here, we'll take it away from the Jewish mandate for a Jewish home, and we will call it Jordan, Transjordan. And they gave that puppet king his throne in order to solve the problem. The problem was solved on the backs of dead Jews, who then 20 years later had no place to come, and the Holocaust ensued. And then you skip ahead after the Holocaust. We don't even need to talk about the Holocaust. In 1947, when they declared the state and the partition plan, and Israel, the Jewish people agreed to accept it, and the Arabs rejected it and went to not one war, but over the time 4 or 5 wars, and they still come back saying now they're ready to accept it. And if you lose, you lose. And there shouldn't be any kind of compensation for losers who try and exterminate a people, and then they lose the war of self-defense, lose some of their land that used to be our historical land anyway, and should have come to us during the mandate period anyway, and then they say, no, now we're ready to accept the terms. I'm sorry, the answer is no. And that's what the Israeli leaders should have said. But they were not able to stand up to the pressure of America and the rest of the world to not go to the conferences all along and make these concessions when they had these people defeated in 1967. And they could have taken all of their capitals and told them, you sign on the dotted line that you will leave us alone, or we're going to remain in your capitals for the rest of human history. And America and Britain and the United Nations would not let us continue, and stopped us in our tracks in 67. And in 73, they pressured Golda Meir so much that she would not preempt like in 67. And as a result, 2,000 Jewish boys fell in the 73 Yom Kippur War. This is all because of American pressure on Israel and the world's pressure on Israel, and it's got to stop. In 1947, I'm sure everyone in this room knows that Truman said, I'm going to recognize the State of Israel, and I'm going to give my blessing to it and America's blessing to it, even though his Secretary of State, George C. Marshall, protested and said, and I quote, Mr. President, if you do this, I will be forced to vote for your opponent in the coming election, which he did. He voted for Dewey, and thank God Dewey lost. But you do not know that when in 1948, less than a year later, when they declared war on Israel and 5 Arab armies marched into Palestine, into Eretz Israel, into the state of Israel, Truman revoked the recognition and slapped an arms embargo on Israel that lasted until the Kennedy and Johnson administrations. Yeah, I'm sure you don't know that, but that is the truth. You go home tonight, don't take my word for it, you look it up. That's what we're faced with. And I just have to tell you, America, it's a message for America. It is not we who are in danger. We may die like in the Holocaust, God forbid. And the question after today's events and all the events going back over the last 20 years of Oslo, the question is, how much Jewish blood do you want? How much more will satisfy the lust of the Gentile world for Jewish blood for the last 2,000 years, for the last 3,000 years, going back all the way to the first and second temple period? It's enough already. The point to be made is that the Jewish people are an eternal people. We are God's chosen people. And He gave us this land. It's in the Bible for everybody to read in any language that they require. And therefore there's no discussion. It's our land, and it will be our land, and God will assure us. He took a people that were bedraggled for 2,000 years in an exile, stomped in the ground by every country in the world, and every region and every civilization and throughout all of human history. And out of the ashes of Auschwitz, when everybody would have thought we're finished, He rose miraculously, this phoenix out of the ground, and we came online. We are an eternal people. We are invincible. We may lose plenty of numbers, unfortunately, because of the hatred of the world against us, but you will not defeat us, you will not eliminate us, you will not exterminate us in total and destroy us. It is not we who come seeking your help so we don't get wiped out. It is we who come to, and this is the words of my Rabbi Meir Kahana, he comes and he says, we are telling America, it is up to you. You're the one country in the history of the world that until now has not turned on its Jews and put up concentration camps and crematoria. So you have a merit already. You are the one nation in the world that really takes our Bible seriously and believes that there really is a God, and proves it by the actions of kindness and faith in God and in kindness to other people. It's a nation of kindness and a nation of truth, but you're letting the ball run against you because you are not standing up to your government, who do not share these values with you. To them, oil is important. Geopolitical positioning in an empire is important. And you know what really is important is God. There's a God of history, and He's the destiny. He has a destiny for the world and for the Jewish people. And you know that the land of Israel was in the prophecies at the end of the Bible, that we are going to take back our land before the coming of the Messiah, before the end of days. Despite all the wars and despite all the slaughter, you know and you believe in all of that, and you've seen it come true with your own eyes over the last 50 to 60 years. So the point isn't, America, whether we will get your help to survive. We're not coming here on our hands and knees asking for your support or your money or we are asking you to save yourselves, because the world will be judged in the final analysis on, like it says 2 or 3 times in the Torah, in the Bible, it says, those who bless you I will bless, and those who curse you I will curse. It says it in I'll close with this. It says it in Genesis 12:3, and it says it in Numbers 24:9. You can look it up when you go home tonight. And that's the final message. The final message is that I had much more to say, obviously, but the final message is your history and your outcome is dependent on standing with the Jewish people. America is the heart of the Pilgrim's Pride and the Puritans. It came over here with a vision different than the sickness and vileness of Europe, and you wanted freedom from that, freedom of religion, freedom of expression, freedom from tyranny, and that's what you should give to yourselves by freeing yourselves from what your government policies are today in America. Thank you.